I still remember the first sound. The rush of water, deep and heavy, echoing through the trees like distant thunder. We had been hiking all morning through thick forest, the kind where sunlight filters down in shifting patterns and the air smells of pine and damp moss. The trail had been straightforward until it dropped us at the edge of a river that looked nothing like the calm blue line drawn on our map. This wasn't a gentle brook. It was a wide, fast-flowing torrent, frothing white where it struck hidden rocks, its surface pulling and twisting like it wanted to drag down anything that dared cross. We stood in a line along the bank, each of us quiet for once. Mike tossed a stick in just to test it, and we watched it whip away so fast it was gone in seconds. No bridge, no obvious ford, just us, our packs, and a river daring us to try. The debate started quick. Should we backtrack and lose a day? Bushwhack upstream and pray for a narrower crossing? Or take the chance right here? My heart thudded with the weight of it. I'd crossed creeks before, even knee-deep streams, but this was different. The sound alone was intimidating, like it carried the power to sweep us off our feet and into oblivion. That's when Rachel, calm as ever, said, "We're not doing this alone. We'll cross together. Rope, arms locked, slow and steady. That's the only way through." She was right. None of us could muscle through that current solo, but maybe together we stood a chance. We set to work. Mike dug out the rope, tying it around a pine tree and testing the knots twice. I checked the banks for the best entry point. Smooth stones, gradual slope, not too deep at the start. We tightened our packs, pulling straps snug so nothing dangled to snag in the water. There was a tension in the air, not fear exactly, but the kind of electric charge that comes before a storm. Each of us knew what we were about to step into. When my boots touched the first swirling edge, the water was colder than I expected, icy enough to make my legs ache instantly. We waded in, shoulder to shoulder, arms locked. The current pressed against us like a living thing, shoving hard, nature itself. The rope we tied to shore stretched tight in our hands, giving us a lifeline, though the river jerked at it so fiercely it cut grooves into my palm. Behind us, the others followed in pairs, spaced out but locked the same way, shoulder to shoulder, arms tight, breaths loud against the roar. Halfway across, the river deepened without warning. Suddenly, it wasn't just against our thighs, but slapping against our hips, churning so violently that each step felt like we were wading into a stampede. Mike stumbled then, his foot slipping off a submerged rock. His body lurched sideways, and for a heartbeat, the river claimed him, pulled him waist deep with a violence that sent icy spray across my face. "Hold him!" Rachel shouted, her voice sharp above the water's roar. I clamped down on his arm with every ounce of strength, bracing my own legs wide on the riverbed. The current shoved me so hard I felt my knees buckle. For a terrifying moment, it seemed like the river would take us both. But Rachel leaned the other way, anchoring us, her boots wedged on a cluster of stones. The rope went taut, humming with strain. Slowly, Mike found his footing again, face pale but determined. He nodded once, jaw clenched, and we pressed forward. The far bank still looked miles away, though it was only yards. Every step demanded focus. The sound of the river filled my head, drowning out thought, leaving nothing but instinct. Lean together, brace, move, repeat. My body shook with exhaustion, but the weight of my friends at my side kept me moving. I could feel their determination, their trust, and in that moment, it was the only thing stronger than the current. And then, just when I thought my legs couldn't take another step, I felt the bottom rising beneath my boots. The water eased down from hip to thigh. from thigh to knee. The pull still strong, but less merciless. Relief washed through me as real as the river's chill. We were close. So close. But we all knew the river had one more trick waiting for us. The far bank was in sight now. Behind us, in the second line, lost her footing. I caught it out of the corner of my eye. One moment she was steady, the next she was on her side, the river surging over her chest. Her partner clung to her, but the force yanked them both sideways. The rope that tethered them to the line went taut with a violent snap, jerking their shoulders back as they thrashed against the pull. "Hold on!" Mike bellowed, his voice raw with effort. Without thinking, we shifted as one, digging our boots deeper, leaning against the torrent to give them time. Jess clawed at the water, coughing, her eyes wide with fear. Her partner fought to haul her upright, their faces pale against the spray. For a terrifying moment, I thought the river would tear them both loose and drag them under the churning water between those boulders. But then Rachel made the call. "Step left! Now!" Her command cut through the panic, sharp and sure. We all shifted in unison, moving as one body, creating just enough slack in the rope for Jess and her partner to scramble up. She staggered back to her feet, soaked and shaking, but alive, her grip tightening with renewed desperation. That moment drove the truth home for all of us. Individually, we were powerless, but together, we were stronger than the river's pull. The current could shove, drag, and batter us, but it couldn't break the line if we held fast. We pushed forward again, inch by inch, until the riverbed lifted further under our boots. The current still raged, but it was losing its teeth. I felt the earth solid beneath me, the water only at my knees now. The roar still filled my ears, but ahead I could hear another sound breaking through. The rasp of our own ragged breaths, the grunts of effort, and just beneath it, the low rumble of relief waiting to burst. We were going to make it. But not without one last test. The final stretch was the steepest climb out of the water, slick with mud and roots. Getting across didn't mean we were safe, not yet. The river did not give us a clean finish. The bank we aimed for rose steep and slick, a wall of mud tangled with roots that jutted like knotted fingers. The water churned against it, surge. So we braced. Mike tried again, this time with all of us holding firm. I shoved upward from below, Rachel steadied him at the waist, and, with a grunt, he hauled himself onto the muddy shelf. His boots slipped, but he sprawled flat, chest in the dirt, then turned and reached down for the next of us. One by one, we climbed that way, hands pulling, shoulders shoving, voices shouting encouragement over the roar. When Jess's turn came, she froze, trembling from her earlier fall. I caught her eye and said, "We've got you. No one's letting go." Her breath shook, but she nodded. Rachel and I heaved from below, while Mike and the others dragged from above. And soon, Jess was sprawled in the mud beside them, her laugh half sob, half relief. By the time my turn came, my body felt like lead. My legs were numb from the cold, my arms burned with exhaustion, and every part of me wanted to just let the current carry me downstream. But when I looked up and saw my friends' outstretched hands, their faces muddy and determined, something stronger stirred in me. I planted my foot on a root, shoved upward, and felt their grip close around my wrists like iron. In seconds, I was hauled over the edge, collapsing onto the dirt with the rest of them. We lay there for a long moment, all of us, spread in a heap on the muddy bank. The river thundered below, raging on as if mocking our escape. But its pull was behind us now. We were soaked, shaking and filthy, but together we had made it. The last to climb was Rachel. She didn't let us pull her. She climbed with her own strength, steady and sure, until she stood above us, water dripping from her clothes, a grin breaking across her face. "Told you," she said, voice hoarse but steady. "The only way through is together." And with that, we laughed. Loud, wild, unrestrained laughter that rang through the trees. It wasn't just relief, it was pride, joy, and the fierce bond of people who had faced something bigger than themselves and held fast. That night, by the fire, the river's roar still echoed. "Held me?" She trailed off, but we all knew what she meant. "You weren't going anywhere," Mike answered, shaking his head. "Not with us around. We cross as one or not at all." Rachel stirred the fire with a stick, sending a shower of sparks upward like fireflies. "That's the thing about rivers," she said. "They don't care who you are, how strong you think you are. Alone, they'll take you every time. But together, you can stand against the pull." Her words lingered in the air, settling into us deeper than the warmth of the fire. I thought back to the moment when the current nearly swept Mike away, when Jess went under, when I wanted to give up. Each time, the line held, not because any one of us was stronger than the river, but because we refused to let it break. We fell asleep under the stars that night, our bodies aching but our spirits light. The sound of the river below no longer seemed threatening. It was just part of the wilderness, untamed and relentless, reminding us of our smallness. Yet, in that smallness, we had found something vast. The power of trust, of shared struggle, of leaning into each other when the world pushed hardest. Years later, I still remember that crossing, not as a near disaster, but as a gift. The river taught us something no trail map ever could, that real strength isn't about standing alone. It's about standing together, arms locked, step by step, through the currents that would pull us apart. And whenever I hear the rush of fast water now, I don't just think of danger. I think of that night on the bluff, the glow of the fire, and the unshakable truth we carried away. The only way through is together.